What's up, guys? It's me, Janne here, and yeah, I got my hands on a clip, and that was from Top Gear. Sorry, not Top Gear, but Top Gear, Grand Tour. That shit. It's still Top Gear in here, and yeah, there was a comparison of the Audi Quattro and Lancia 037, and they ran through the 1983 season in that film feature in the show, and yeah, they said that Lancia was really smart throughout the year, and they in Monaco, where their car was slower thanks to their rear-wheel drive compared to Audi's four-wheel drive, they made the roads saltier than Lewis Hamilton fans in Malaysia 2016, meaning that the roads melted and they were dry, and the tarmac conditions really matched their car, and they were able to be quicker that way. So as a sort of a experiment, I wanted to see how on a real Monty it would have been. So I'm driving through a long stage in Rally Monte Carlo in Dirt Rally with Audi Quattro and Lancia 037 and comparing the times, and once we have seen the run, I'll tell the results, and then we will see side-by-side comparison as well, where we can see where the differences are coming from one way or the other. But yeah, I ran 3 runs with each car, 3 runs that I finished, and both cars were driven on the default setup, and I really tried my best. And yeah, I think this is all enough talking, and yeah, let's begin with the Lancia run. Here we are, the first car on the road, the Lancia 037, beautiful as ever, and amazing sounds, really amazing sounds. And compared to the Audi, this car is a lot more spectacular to watch. I mean, this car tends to go quite sideways, and yeah, it's actually worth it to have sponsors on the doors and everything if you're photographing it from the front, or if you're videographing it from the front. You can actually see the door sponsors as well, unlike in the Audi, which just goes like fucking on rails. But yeah, amazing car, one of my all-time favorites. Really difficult to drive, and on the default setup, the gears were a bit too long. I don't think that I reached 5th at all. Barely even went to the 4th gear either. And it was really difficult to like visualize or to realize where the corners of the car are. So on some of the right hand corners I'm leaving way too much room to the right altogether. And yeah, the hairpins are still coming along nicely. Not going like that anymore when we get to the snow. It was super hard trying to adapt from the tarmac driving to the snow driving, and it doesn't even help, even though it comes like in small bits and pieces with dry tarmac first, then bits of ice, and then a bit more of ice, and then full ice, but still difficult as fuck. But yeah, I really tried on this one, and this was a really fun corner to drive. You could just control the car with the throttle and a cool, neat slide around it. Felt really good. But yeah, maybe the brakes as well were just a tad bit too much in the front, especially considered for the snow. The front tires tended to lock up quite easily, in my opinion. But again, another relatively nice hairpin still. Yeah, one of the longest straights here, and still only 4th gear. And again, the tail kicks out beautifully. Yeah, it's really spectacular, but not the fastest way to go around. But that's pretty much the only way I know how, so that's why I'm driving with such violence, if that's the word for it. And yeah, it took me a lot longer with the Lancia to get to 3 runs. It took really long. This car was a lot easier to make mistakes on, so I think that this car has a lot more potential to still improve on my hands compared to the Audi. I think that the Audi was a bit easier to take to the limit, and yeah, these situations where the rear end just kicked out, even though I was in the low revs. It was quite surprising and caught me off guard quite a few times, to be honest with you guys. Again, nice slide there. The audience loves it, the clock not that much. Again, tail kicks out. I'm hitting the throttle like Chris Brown hitting Rihanna, and it's go. It was really difficult, since usually you don't have to do heel and towing in a rally car, but on these two cars, or on this stage actually, you have to do some heel and towing, since if you just wait for, if you brake with your left foot and then you brake and brake and brake, and then you wait the car to slow down and then shift again using the clutch with the left foot, the engine used to stall quite a lot. And since in dirt rally the engine doesn't like rewind itself if the tires are rolling, it made me stall the engine quite a few times, so I had to keep the engine alive with the heel and toe technique. And it brought a bit of an extra challenge, but it was really fun. And it was altogether, it was really fun to drive in Monte Carlo. Like first time in ages for this video. We all know there's no Monte Carlo in Quattro, which sucks. Licensing sucks. So licensing would be a good girlfriend. She would know how to suck. You can see I'm taking quite carefully there around the hairpin already, since it's really slippery out here, and still almost lost the control of this beautiful beast. And now this just turns to hell. I don't think that I went full throttle once when I went to the full ice. Always just feathering the throttle, trying to keep this beast under control, and difficult as hell. Really, really difficult, really tricky. And there's the brakes being way too front biased and me not getting turning. So with the proper setup, I think at least a few seconds could be shaved of the time. Even close to 5 with the actually perfect run, but with me those kind of runs usually don't exist, so that we have to take that into consideration. I was just trying to keep the car relatively straight, as straight as I can with this car, in order to not lose control. Again, there, heel and towing again, and still going a bit deep into the corner and losing a bit of time, but nothing too major. And obviously this run had a few flaws, and the Audi run has a few flaws as well. That's rallying. You can never get the absolute perfect run. You can always improve on something, and that's what I love about rallying in general as well. And I didn't want to first thing, I didn't have time to practice my runs so much that I would get the perfect lines and perfect braking points for everything. But as well, I didn't even want to do it because it tells a bit about the car's drivability as well, if it's easy to go close to the limit with the car or if it's not. And this is a car that needs really big balls and quite a good confidence. Now we have the final few turns before we reach the finish, and this last one almost lost it there, as you can see, quite sideways. And now it's time for the rallying pioneer Audi Sport Quattro, another car with a beastly sound and a really, really difficult car to drive. And compared to the Lancia, this is a whole different world. Firstly, because of way more grip under acceleration, and also maybe a bit more powerful engine as well. Not sure, but I feel like it. And then the car is really front heavy compared to the Lancia. This one has the engine in the front, Lancia has it in the back. This has four-wheel drive, Lancia has a rear-wheel drive. So, usually the Lancia 037, especially in the early 80s, was really good in the tarmac sections and tarmac rallies. And when they went to the loose surface, then the four-wheel drive of the Audi was quite dominant. Yeah, this car required quite a precise driving style, even though it seems like I'm throwing it around like it's my girlfriend, but no, I didn't throw my girlfriend around. No need to call the police for domestic abuse. But yeah, this car was really front heavy, and that made it really understeer with the default setup. Of course, if you could get all 4 wheels spinning under power, like a power slide going on, then the car would kick the tail out a bit, but usually it was really tricky to get the power down, to get the power slide going. And for example here, I'm driving like a circuit racing car instead of a rally car, really tidy, really like on the rails, trying to go as clean and tidy as I can. And, yeah, it's just a whole different world. There's no need to put sponsors on the doors in this car because no one will see them. Everyone will just see the front of the car, and that's all. With this understeer piece of German engineering. But yeah, I'm doing this challenge sort of to see if the Audi would have been victorious if there would have been more snow compared to the situation back in 1983 with the Lancia team making the roads really dry and clean. But I have to give it to them, that's a really great strategy. If your car is good in the dry and on tarmac, then you have to make the best effort to make the conditions dry and the road to be tarmac instead of snow. And yeah, this is another car, or in this car as well, I think the default setup has a bit too front biased brakes, as you can see all the time when I'm going the brakes or under braking. The car tends to lock up the front wheels a bit, and then I tend to understeer a bit. But that was also like it feels like the main philosophy behind this car is understeer. I don't know why, because it feels wrong. I mean, yeah, you can adjust it with the setup, but this car is so understeer, it's not even fun at some point. But yeah, really unresponsive into corners, you have to really throw it around, and there you could see me getting the power slide going a bit, that's what I was talking about. And yeah, it feels like that this car was a bit slower on tarmac, but we'll see on the side-by-side comparison. And yeah, going really carefully here, since this corner is always understeer hell, no matter what car, and then the car full of understeer into that corner. So yeah, and just like on the Lancia run, I'm not nailing the hairpins and every corner perfectly, but as I said before, I think that's rallying. You can't never nail each and every corner perfectly. There's always something that we can still improve a bit on in rallying, and that's what I love it. It's much more of an improvising compared to circuit racing. That's what makes me really love rallying more than any other form of motorsports. And yeah, I'm driving a bit like a pussy, but I tried to keep the car under control. And even though this was easier to drive than the Lancia, it wasn't still easy altogether. It was hard as fuck, and I had to trail brake a bit to keep the weight on the front end and to eliminate the understeer, but still moments like that happened quite often. And, but yeah, here, especially on the snow here, you could really feel the four-wheel drive being at an advantage compared to Lancia's rear-wheel drive car. The car would actually go there where you would point the wheels most of the time. Of course, some cases of understeer happened, mostly on the hairpins, but yeah, it's just a whole different world compared to the Lancia. And yeah, going again, maybe a tad too carefully around the hairpin, but not using handbrakes on either of the cars. Well, you don't need a handbrake with Lancia, you just need a blip on the throttle. But yeah, I'm trying a bit of a Scandi flick action here with the car, not working that well. Apparently I might be adopted or something, since my Scandi flicks are broken. but yeah,
Left 660.
not using the handbrake because that's not what they did back in their day with this car, or these cars to be more exact.
Left 5 long, keep in. And right 4
Yeah, at least on this car I dared to go full throttle here on the snow and didn't have to fear that the rear end would kick out.
Into right 4 times to 3.
So that was nice, and this car was a lot more pleasant to drive on the snow, even though there were those small moments of understeer, obviously. And now we are approaching the final few fast corners of the stage. Fast right-hander, fast left-hander, and then the right one to finish. And that is the run with the Audi Quattro, a nice slide to end it as well. Yeah, those were the runs, and yeah, those were the runs. But yeah, those were the runs, and the results are on the screen right about now. And yeah, we can see that Audi was quite a bit faster, 14 seconds to be quite exact. So yeah, but it's gonna be interesting to see if it's only because of the snow or because of the Audi just being more powerful car or what. So there's gonna be a side-by-side comparison really shortly, but at least this time you can't say, Paolo, that I wasn't, or that I was trying to bias my performance to make the Lancia win, since I reached top 10 in the class with the Lancia on the stage time, but was only like top 20 in the Group B 4-wheel drive cars with Audi. So yeah, relative to the class results, I drove better on the Lancia, but it might be also that the Lancia is a better car in its group compared to Audi being in its group. But yeah, let's see the runs side by side to see where that 14 seconds came from. Yeah, 14 seconds, that's quite a lot. Let's see the clips right about now. Once more, we are here at the start of the stage, and the cars are launching off, and oh my god, the Audi was a shit ton quicker off the line. But after all, it's 4-wheel drive, it has 2 more driving wheels compared to the Lancia, so it's quite understandable. But now it's interesting to see if the Lancia can catch up here on the tarmac section or not. So far the Audi is a bit ahead, not much but a bit, mostly since because of the better launch of the line. And is it just me, or does it seem like Audi is pulling away already on tarmac alone, regardless of the Lancia being maybe a tad more suitable for tarmac conditions? And yeah, it's looking like that the Audi is launching off again, and then these hairpins really make the situation better for Audi, since the Audi has a lot better traction coming out of the corners and a lot better acceleration as well, as we can see. So it would be interesting to do like a German stage with these cars as well, to see if the Lancia can be faster than the Audi, even in the optimum conditions, in the optimum environment, or if it's really just that much slower than the Audi in this game. And if so, it really highlights the driving abilities of Walter Röhrl and Mark Allen and Henry Toivonen as well, who made the Lancia 037 surprisingly competitive in the WRC in the early to mid 80s. And yeah, it looks like already that the Audi is on a different stage altogether. It's quite a bit ahead. So yeah, it just keeps enlarging its lead, regardless of having a bit of a shit hairpin there. But yeah, the Audi is just out of this world compared to the Lancia, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we have 4-wheel drive cars in the WRC because of course if the concept would have been shit, it would have been discontinued. But yeah, there's still 4-wheel drive cars in the main classes of rallying, so yeah, I think that's our point. And the Lancia coming in right about now to the slow left-hander, and yeah, let's count some seconds on how much the Audi is ahead when we get a good spot where to count them from. Just wait for a good spot. I think there's a hairpin coming up shortly, and yeah, after this left-hander right about now, it's on the apex now, so 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds roughly. The Lancia is behind the Audi, so even all the saltiness in the world could not save the Lancia if the World Rally Championship of 1983 would have been driven in dirt rally instead of real rallying. But why the fuck would they do that? This is just a game, and this wasn't around in 1983, and I wasn't either, so you could say that the world was maybe a better place, at least a little more silent and a little better smelling as well, since I wasn't there far. But yeah, the left-hander that the Lancia just went through was really tricky for both of the cars. It was really slippery, and there's a reason why it's on my most difficult spots in dirt rally videos. It's a really fucking difficult corner, and yeah, the Audi has just pulled ahead now, especially when we've reached the more slippery stuff, multiple corners ahead compared to the Lancia. And yes, as I was saying, I was really trying hard with both of these cars. It's just that the Audi was that much easier to drive, and probably one of the factors that made it so quick, the ease of driving with it, and that gave me more confidence to push faster and faster as well. So but as I said, in the Lancia I got into the top 10 in the PlayStation 4 leaderboards with it, so it was quite a good run. But on the Audi I was like barely in the top 20 with my runs, so yeah, relative to the other cars in the class, I drove better in the Lancia. But in my personal opinion, these runs are quite equal in terms of driver performance. I had a few fuck-ups on both, so I think that makes it fair. And yeah, at least Paolo can't call me out on bias towards the Lancia, since it has been slower in here, and by quite a margin as well. But of course, I think that there's more time to be shaved off the Lancia's time than it is from the Audi's time. But even though if I were to make a completely perfect run, I still wouldn't be able to beat the time that the Audi already has, since on the leaderboards the Audi time was still like 5 seconds or 6 seconds faster than any time in the Group B rear-wheel drive class. So yeah, I'd really need to do some fucking miracles in order to beat the Audi with the Lancia on this stage. So yeah, I think it was more that the Lancia team was really fucking clever in the 1983 World Championship, and that's what mostly made them win the championship. And yeah, if you haven't seen the Top Gear, not Top Gear, but you know, Top Gear bit, it's available in YouTube, at least it still is at the time of making this. But yeah, if you like rallying, you definitely need to watch it, it's amazing. But yeah, finally the Lancia is finishing as well. And yeah, that was the video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and comment below if you'd like to see the same comparison between the Audi Quattro and the Lancia O37 in Germany in the near future, because that's something that I'd be interested to make. But if you guys don't give a shit about it, then obviously it's quite pointless to do. So yeah, let me know in the comments below that what's your feelings about it. And yeah, Rally Monte Carlo starts today. I'm hyped. I hope you're hyped. Have fun. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.